Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. I've just done the 5000k oil change on the old ZD30. Got the catch can in there. I'm just going to open the tap and see what sort of oil or what sort of volume of oil we've collected over 5000 k's. You can see it's coming out the pipe now. So last time I did this I had about 40 mil I think, which I think is pretty good. The ZDs are pretty heavy breathing motors. Doesn't look like it's going to be much more this time either. It's already starting to lose a bit of flow. So you can see there's probably, I don't know, 30-40 mils of oil in there. It's starting to slow down. Now all motors are different. I've got a mate with the same ZD30, same year model as this. About the same sort of Ks. I think my motor has maybe 100,000 less, but we're up in the fours, so you know, both fairly high kilometre motors, and he is pulling like half a litre of oil out between services. You can see there that's stopped. So that's 5000 k's. I have not opened that tap between oil changes, and that's all we've got. You'd be lucky to be 40 mils. Pretty happy with that. Means everything's pretty happy inside. The catch can is doing what it's supposed to do. Happy days. That was going to be the end of the video, but I figured as soon as I'm under here doing it, I may as well show a little bit of my routine. Every 5000 k's I change the oil on this thing. I've been using Penrite HPR. I was using the 1550. I'm going to try the 2060 this time round. I've just put the 2060 in there. I'm in Queensland. It's pretty hot. It won't be cooling down before I've hit 5000 k's again, so see how this stick of oil goes. It was sounding a little bit knocky towards the end of the 5000 period. And just everything else that I chuck under here. I've just done a fuel filter on the last service, so it's not due. The air cleaner, I'll take it out and give it a bit of a knock, see how it looks. That was replaced on the last 5000 as well. You saw me empty the catch can and just have a quick look over everything else, and probably degrees, and give it a bit of a squirt under here and hit the lanolin back on it and make it look nice again. And I've got the Demon Pro airbox on this thing. Bought the full kit, the airbox and the cold side pipe, and as I've answered a couple of questions on the previous videos, this section here with the MAF holder in it is actually part of the original Nissan setup. So a little bit of a pain when you've got to work on the air filter, because there's 10,000 little stainless steel bolts that holds the lid on. Is it that much of a big deal? I don't think so. It adds, what, 5 to 10 minutes maybe to a service time, but you know that airbox is sealed tight, so I don't think it's a big enough problem to complain about it, to be honest. One thing I will complain about, this bolt here I had to actually space it when I fitted it up originally with another nut. I probably could have just cut the bolt short, but they've lined it up perfectly with the intake of the snorkel, so without a shorter bolt or a spacer of some sort, it's just going to punch its way straight through that intake, which I thought was a bit of a silly design, but not a big deal. We've got all those bolts out. Just undo the pipe clamps so you can take the whole lid off rather than try and bend it out of the way and probably upset something. Air cleaner out. Bit of crap in there, but it still looks pretty reasonable. I'll give it a bit of a shake and hit it with a air compressor, obviously from the inside. Always blow from the inside with your compressed air so that you're blowing your rubbish back off the air filter rather than see people getting in there with the compressed air on the outside here, and all that's doing is just clogging the filter up even more. So make sure you always blow from the inside and blow the crap back off. That's the air filter all cleaned up, blown out, and the air box just, blew the bugs and leaves and stuff out of there. The other thing that I like about these Demon Pro air boxes is the drain plug. I can't really show you at the moment because I've got my camera clamped up there, but the drain plug on a factory box is basically just a rubber valve, like a reed valve, which can let water in, designed to work against vacuum, so as long as the motor's running it's not going to let any water in. But if you turn your car off or it stalls for whatever reason when you're in a water crossing, you might be stuck, it's just going to fill up. If that air box is underwater, it's going to fill up through that valve. With the Demon one, it's an actual plug, it's a threaded plug, and it's got a rubber seal on it, so it's not going to let nothing in. We'll whack this air cleaner back in there, and before I put the lid back on, I'll give that MAF a bit of a squirt. I changed the little screws that Nissan puts on these a long time ago because they were just a pain. I've just got a little square drive, a lot easier to find. Got lots of square drive bits hanging around. Unplug that MAF cable. Oh, we'll pull the plug out. We'll pull the MAF out first. Bit dusty. It's a bit hard to see. It's not too bad. There is a tiny bit of build up on the leading edge there where the air blows past it. But we'll give it a spray out. It's just part of what I do each time I do an oil change on this anyway, regardless of whether it's dirty or not. And make sure if you're going to clean your MAF or any other sensor for that matter, use proper sensor cleaner. Don't use brake clean or carby clean. I've heard you can use electrical contact cleaner. I personally wouldn't. This has been designed to not damage anything in here, so just give it a good squirt. There's two sensing plates. I think one's like a hot wire and the other one's some sort of chip that measures air velocity or something like that. No idea. just drown it. You don't want to be poking anything in there. You do not need to try and push a rag or a brush or anything like that in there. This does it all. And shake off the excess. It's pretty fast evaporating stuff, but just give it a couple of minutes. I'll just set it up on top of the intercooler so it's not going to get hurt. Give it, 5 minutes at least before you whack it back in there and start the motor, just in case. While you've got this off, I'll just give the contacts in there a bit of a spray out. Make sure everything's clean. Inside of that's nice. You can see it's obviously doing its job. When I had the element out, the inside of the snorkel pipe was pretty dusty, like it was pretty thick in there. But inside of there, I haven't wiped it, I haven't touched it. That's clean as, so you know it's doing its job, doing what it's supposed to do. It's a matter of reverse of what we did before and put it all back together again. And get that back in the pipe first, and then worry about lining up the bolt holes. There we go, easy as. Alright, that's all buttoned back up. Got my MAF back in there. I don't need to check the coolant, I can see that it's right at the top there. I mean, if you open this one up, you're just going to lose some level from there, because that's the higher tank. You open this one down here, it's going to siphon back through. Gravity's its friend. Besides that, it's pretty much all it needs at the moment. I'll just squirt some degreaser around the place and get all the oil off from obviously changing that oil filter. You're always going to spill a bit. Just a general clean down, hasn't been washed under here for a little bit. It's all degreased and hosed down. It's pretty clean under there. Let it dry. Might turn the key and just make sure everything's happy. Have a listen to what this new oil sounds like in there. Because I've been playing with stuff, it might turn a little longer. Not too bad. All light went out straight away. Doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, can't complain. If you haven't already, I've got another video a few months ago about the upgrades and mods and stuff that's been done to this motor. Nothing internal, it's a factory ZD30 DI inside, so they're just bolt-on upgrades, but they've made a massive difference, especially that Demon Pro airbox and intake pipe. If you are thinking of upgrading your intake to a Demon Pro or anything else similar, I would strongly recommend getting your ECU tuned first. And when they do that, well, get it tuned first if you're going to do a postal tune like I did, and make sure you list that it's going to have that Demon Pro setup and whatever else you might have done to it. Otherwise, prepare yourself for the cost of an ECU tune after you've installed that airbox and any other intake mods that you might want to do, because on a factory tune you can't run a ZD DI with that mod done. It just doesn't like it. Hope this video has been helpful to a few people, and hope you'll give it a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.